You ever wonder what a canister filter would look like if you hadn't cleaned it out in 3 years? Well, today you're going to find out, because I've got 2 of them. July 14th, 2019 and January 21st, 2020. Those are the dates I installed these filters. The first is a Fluval 407 and the second is an Aqueon Quiet Flow 300. The Fluval filter was sent to me for free to review and I installed it on my 75-gallon goldfish tank, while the Aqueon came as part of a complete setup of a 90-gallon that Lisa won in a raffle at the 2019 Aquatic Experience, which was the last Aquatic Experience. I uploaded videos of the install of both of these filters, and I'll put cards up in the corner if you want to watch them. Full transparency, Fluval sent me 2 of the 407s, and the one in the video was installed on another 75 gallons. So you won't see the goldfish tank in that video, but they were installed onto both tanks at the same time. These filters have both been running non-stop on these tanks, except for when we've needed to move them, when we reorganized, or obviously when we made our move to North Carolina. It's been so long since I've done anything with them, I almost forgot how to detach them from the tanks. I was really happy to remember how to do it though, and let me just tell you, they're both super easy to get detached and move around. Although the Fluval is way easier. It's just a pull of a switch and both of the hoses detach with very little spillage. Now I gotta tell you, you're gonna hear me talk a lot about how happy I am with these filters. I don't want you to think I'm only saying this because they sent me these filters for free. That is not the case. I fulfilled my obligation to Fluval long ago, and technically Lisa paid for the Aqueon when she bought the raffle tickets. I gotta tell you, that woman won tanks at the Aquatic Experience 2 years in a row. Anyone that knows her will tell you, if Lisa puts in for a raffle, you might as well give up, because she always wins. And here we are. All right, before we crack these things open, let's address the elephant in the room. A lot of you are probably asking, why would you let these things go for 3 years without servicing them in any way? The answer to that is really quite simple. Since I started uploading on this channel in 2012, I have always said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you have an aquarium that is running smoothly, your fish are thriving, everybody's happy, life is good, don't mess with it to the point where life isn't going to be good. Don't use the government strategy of, if it ain't broke, fix it until it breaks. You don't want to do that. This hobby needs to be as low stress as possible. So if your aquariums are running nicely, consider yourself lucky. And don't go messing with them and screwing up the balance that you have in those aquariums. These 2 aquariums that we have here, a 75-gallon and a 90-gallon, have been running flawlessly ever since we set them up. I've had no reason at all to even look at these filters. Everything has been going great. So that's how this can go 3 years without servicing them. And the other excuse is, wow, I didn't realize 3 years was going to go by that fast. But that's what it's been, 3 years for both of these. These have been running like little powerhouses. And you know what? It's a testament to both of these filters. The fact that these are as good as they are is the reason why I haven't had to open them up and see what's going on in them. So, hey, there you go. That's how I've gone 3 years without opening these things. We've moved them a couple of times. I mean, it's just haven't had to do it. All right, so starting off with the Fluval 407, as I said before, this has been on a 75-gallon goldfish tank. It's got fancy goldfish and some white clouds in it, and they can produce quite a bit of waste, but as you'll see in a moment, it didn't really have much of an effect on the filter. It's been running absolutely flawlessly ever since we put it in. Now, of course, the thing was nasty. I mean, you know, pull this large sponge mechanism thing, I don't even know what it's called, out of the side, and yeah, the sponges were pretty full of some nasty brownness. I think we all know what that is, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I was expecting to see a nightmare when I opened this thing up. It wasn't that way at all. Yeah, it was dirty, but it wasn't vomit inducing as I expected it to be. Now, this was interesting. I opened up the top canister there, and there's nothing in it. I don't know. I don't know if I forgot to put something in it or it disappeared or what. I really have no idea. And then what was even more surprising was the second one was empty too, but we figured out what happened there. That used to have a carbon bag, I guess, in it or something to hold the carbon in. I don't even remember. It was so long ago. And I guess whatever it is that the carbon was in, it just disappeared. It vanished. And all of the carbon went down to that third tray and mixed in with the biomedia that's in there. They've got the little tubes. I'm not sure what they're called. And yeah, I was a genius doing this right over top of the table. I don't know what I was thinking, especially when there's a seam in the two tabletops and everything was dripping down in between. Not my finest moment, kind of embarrassing, but hey, this is the kind of thing I will do for you. The sponges in this filter, they were gross. I mean, it was pretty bad. They were gnarly, but it's just a matter of cleaning them out. I mean, and yes, you see me dunking that in to the dirty water. Am I going to go and run it under the sink? No. I mean, it's fine. I squeeze it out to make sure that the sponge is free of debris that would be clogging it up. And after that, it should be good. The polishing pads that were in there, I'm just going to throw those away. They've done their job. They did a great job, but they're no good to me anymore. Now is the dilemma of what to do with the carbon and biomedia mixture. And I'll tell you what I decided to do. I decided to take the easy way out. I just picked out the biomedia. There's still some flakes of carbon and stuff like that that's attached to it. I don't care. I just threw it all back in there. There's still some carbon. So what? It's fine. The sponges on the other sponge thing, I'm not sure what Fluval calls it. Again, just wringing them out, getting all of that nastiness out of it. I'm just wringing it out in the water that's in the canister. Have I ever done it this way? No, this is the first time I've done it this way. Normally I would use a bucket that I fill up with water from the aquarium, but here I just decided to go the lazy route and do it there. If you really think about it, if you squeeze these out on into a bucket with clean aquarium water in it, it's still going to turn all nasty and it's still going to end up, getting brown and disgusting. So might as well just do it in the filter. I don't know. So after that, Carl and I decided to take some of the foam that I had left from the beta system and cut it into pieces that will fit into the filter. Carl does a great job helping me out in the fish room. He is a huge help. Of course, he has to inspect everything prior to allowing me to put it in the tank. He needs to knead it a little bit, make sure it's an acceptable type of foam. And once I get the go-ahead from Carl, I throw him a couple of small pieces to play with, which he has no interest in. But once all of that is done, I've just put those new pieces in there along with the original sponges and then put it all back together and get it back on the tank. It's nothing really exciting, nothing dramatic. I basically turned this into a massive sponge filter. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Moving on to the Aqueon, this one, like an idiot, I only got one angle. I forgot to push record on my front-facing camera. It is what it is. You only get the top view, but this is the one that's going to be the most dramatic anyway. I was expecting this filter to be a nightmare, and it wasn't. I mean, neither one of these were, which is very surprising. Yes, very dirty, filthy, gross. But I was expecting to find who knows what. I mean, just something that would make you want to write to mom and say, I've been a complete failure in my life. But it's not that way at all. Yes, there was a nice coat of brown slime on everything in these filters, including that big carbon bag. That one didn't disintegrate. I don't know. I still don't know about the one in the Fluval, if there was a bag and it just went. I've never heard of bags disintegrating like that. like there's no trace of them at all. Maybe you have. If you have, let me know. Maybe there's filter bags that are designed to spontaneously combust after a certain amount of time. I don't know. But you can see the water is pretty funky. My arms are even getting a nice little coating of brown nastiness on them as I'm doing the work here. But it's seriously not as bad as I expected. I mean, I like I said over and over, I expected these things to be just horrible, and they really weren't. And so it's really a testament to these filters. I mean, I'm not being paid by anybody to say this, but to have these two filters running with some pretty heavy hitters in them. I mean, the 90 gallon is a peacock tank only right now. It's been an angel tank. It's been a planted tank. There's been a lot of stuff that has been in that 90 gallon tank. And it's just handled all of it. This Aqueon canister filter has just been amazing. And, you know, I don't think it's just this Aqueon, and it's not just the Fluval. All canister filters are just powerhouses. They really are. I mean, I don't care what brand you get. We carry the Space Echoes when we can get them on our website. They are a phenomenal filter made by CJ. There's so many different brands of canister filters out there. They are all going to be superior to any hang on the back filter or really anything you can run except for maybe a sump. Are they something that you should leave for 3 years without maintaining them? Probably not, but you can see in this case, it didn't affect us at all. It didn't affect our fish at all. We didn't have fish start dying and problems start coming in these tanks. They were running flawlessly. And to be honest with you, I didn't even need to do this now. But I thought, you know, it's been a few years. It's been a while. I didn't realize it was 3 years at the very start of this, but I said, it's been a while. And then when I checked, I said, oh, it's been longer than a while. It's been 3 years. Should you wait 3 years? No. I mean, should I wait 3 years ever again? No. But now you know, if you have to, it's probably not going to be the end of the world. I mean, I can't guarantee that when you open your filters up after 3 years, they're going to be like this, but it's how it was for me. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed. Now for everyone's least favorite part of the entire process of cleaning out canister filters. Actually, probably their second least favorite. The first would be the disconnection and removal of the canister filter. And then the second worst part would be this part, putting it back in, hooking everything back up, getting them primed. And that whole thing is not very fun. But surprisingly, with both of these filters, I found it very easy to get them going again. It was a breeze. I had the filters already full of water from after I got done cleaning them. I poured all the nasty water out, put more water in, and then pumped the little primer on the Fluval like 2 times, and boom, plugged it in, good to go. Now, when it comes to the Aqueon, that's where things got a little bit different. I did fill it with water. I hooked the hoses up. And then I remembered that the filter has this lid on it that looks like a can, and you just take it. It looks like a jar, and you just take that little cap off, and it's like a funnel. You can finish filling it up. I guess what you're supposed to do is hook everything up, open that little can, and then fill the filter the rest of the way up, and then close the can, and then open the valves. If you don't, if you have it all full and you open up the valves and then you open the cap, that happens. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. But, you know, hey, at least I knew that the whole thing was primed and good to go. So I put the lid back on very quickly and plugged everything in. Boom, it was running perfectly. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, you know, you figure things out as you go sometimes. Now, of course, whenever you do service on a canister, or really any filter for that matter, when you start running it again, it's going to send out some stuff. And the water's going to be cloudy for a couple of minutes. and your pants are going to be wet, and it's going to look like you maybe had an accident. Talk to Billy Madison. Hey, all the cool people are doing that. So I'm okay with it. But the nice thing is, after a little time goes by and the filter cleans up all of that debris that flew out when you started it back up again, you have what you've been wanting. The tank is nice and clear. The fish are happy. Everything's running again. And life is good again. And you don't have to do this for another 3 years. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to wait 3 years to do this again. But if you have a canister filter, I don't care what brand it is. I don't care if it's a super expensive one or one that's off the bargain shelf. You should not need to service canister filters bi-weekly or monthly or anything like that. You really should be able to go for quite some time. I normally say 6 months or so, you should be fine. Letting it go 3 years is extreme, and I did not do that intentionally. However, like I said in the beginning, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't create problems. Don't look for problems that don't exist. If your aquarium is clean, your fish are happy, and they're healthy, you don't have anything to worry about. Enjoy your tank. Don't create stress for yourself. That's what this is all about, is just the joy of owning an aquarium and everything that it brings. So there you go. I hope you were entertained by this, especially the Billy Madison scene at the end there. I wasn't very entertained by that, but this was an interesting project. I didn't know what to expect. I was pleased with what I did find, and that's what you can expect, hopefully, if you wait 3 years to service your canister filter. So anyway, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye.